Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for the clap, by the way. I'm trying to avoid it all my bloody life. It is amazing that, the things that we laugh about. And most times you go to these places to laugh at some bugger else's hard luck. People say, oh, no, we don't. But you can well imagine. Somebody was saying there about his lordship just came back. Landed at Heathrow from Bermuda. Jeeves arrived with the rolls to take him back to the manor. Morning, my lord. Oh, nice to see you, Jeeves. He said, did you enjoy your holidays? He said, I did, Jeeves. Very well, thank you. What news from the manor? He said, a bit of bad news, my lord. He said, your little dog's dead. Goodness gracious me. Such a faithful wee beast. How did he die? He said, the mare kicked him in the head, my lord. The mare kicked him in the head, and they were such good chums. Got on so famously well. How could a thing like that happen? He said, it was when the stable was burning down, my lord. The beam crashed down and killed the mare. And she kicked out and killed the little dog. He said, good God, Jeeves. Do you mean the stables are down and the mare's gone as well? He said, afraid so, my lord. He said, it was a spark from the manor house that caused it. There you go. You see, you don't say you don't laugh at some bugger else's house. Spark from the manor house. He said, good God, he said, do you mean the manor's burnt down? He said, afraid so, my lord. He said, it was the candle on a ladyship's coffin that started it all. He said, good Christ, Jeeves, is there no good news? He said, yes, my lord. With the manor burning down, it warmed the ground, and the daffodils are up 2 weeks earlier. This is the sort of crap you get, and you dodge up and down, and you see all sorts of weird and wonderful things, and you hear all sorts of weird and wonderful bloody expressions, and especially in the country. You know what they say? If you want to see a twat in the country, bring one out from the town. I used to have to deal with some old-fashioned buggers at one time, and I remember being on this little village over at the other side, Rembury way, and we've got a pool there, a Marbury pool, at Marbury it was, and there would come a little stream out of it, you see, and then this stream went under the road, then it drained off down a field into another bloody big pool. But it got all weeded up to buggery, you see, and I was doing this. Now, the church was on top of the bank, like looking across a 2-acre pool up on the other side. Then there was some houses this side, and there come some gardens down, a lot of big willow bushes. And I was saying to the bloke I was doing it for, now, we're all right, there's nothing close by, that it's going to cover in shit or whatever when we blow this channel out. Oh, no, that's quite all right, he says. So we started to get on the weeds. Well, we got ladders and planks and God knows what. And I got this bloody ladder out, and you can feel it like a pudding, going up and down. And this bloke come down, walking down the road, one of the bloody old country lads, and he looks across to me. Here, young fella, he said, you want to come off there? You can go down. He said, you can go down. Bugger him off. And the bloke was giving me a hand with it, And I felt like this bloody pudding. And all of a sudden I slipped through the bloody ladder. And by Christ, straight bloody down. I was clinging onto the bastard, I'll tell you. And this bloke there, he had to get these planks along, bring me back on. So I thought, well, bugger this. I was going to do it a bit at a time, you see. Blow a length of it, then go on and blow some more. But we didn't realise how deep it was. I said, right, sod it, we'll get on top of the weeds and we'll do the lot at one fell swoop. So we were going along on this ladder, putting these 5-pound sticks down. We got down about, must have been 50 yards, right to the end where the pool come, because here come the weeds of this stream. I thought, right, we'll loose the bugger off. I'm not scrolling out there again. Come back, linking it all up with the cortex, got right back to the bank with a fuse detonator on it. I said, I like this, then get your bloody head down, you know. So we lit it, fled out the field, run up the road. It was such a bloody bang. Boom, and this curtain of shit rose into the sky. Like a curtain. Boom, and it slowly seeked, and these bushes all weighed down with it. And as they weighed down, we saw this bloody great greenhouse at the back. 128 panes of glass went for a shit. And just then, I'll never forget it, something went ping, pong, 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 pong. That was the church clock. And this old bugger had come. He said, you've done it now. He said, look at that bloody clock. Struck 3 o'clock and it was only 22. The bloody vibrations had set the bloody mechanism off. He said, you've done it. I thought, oh God, we're going to piss off out of here quick, you know. Anyway, it cost us 128 panes of bloody glass. Well, the firm who was doing it for did. It cost them. I thought, bugger that. They never told me the greenhouse was there. But this is the sort of things you used to get. Then sometimes you'd go to a place, especially these farms on big estates, peasant farmers. You go there. What is it, Gaffer? I've got this tree I want blowing up. I said, well, no sweat there. Blow many a dozen up. Ah, he said, but this bugger's different. I said, how do you mean? He said, well, I want it blowing up, and yet I don't want it blowing up. Now, that's difficult to make some bloody sense on that, isn't it? I want it blowing up, and yet I don't. I said, what are you bloody talking about? He said, well, I'll put it to you this way. I want the bugger out my field, but the estate don't. I said, how are we going to work this? He said, well, I'd like you to come when it's foggy. Bloody tool! You're entering into a bloody conspiracy then, you see. I want you to come when it's foggy. Put a bit under it, give it a bit of a throtch or two. So on the first windy day, the bugger will blow over. Bloody charming. Well, I always remember, it was me pissing about on the Friday morning, and it was foggy as bugger it was, we were putting a bit, boom, and it just got the bugger swaying a bit, you know. I said, that's near enough, that's as far as I'm bloody going. So we come away, anyway, that was on the Friday, he rang me up. On the bloody Saturday afternoon, he said the bastard fell down on Saturday and the time was hardly a breath of wind. A couple of crows landed on one of the boughs, you know. Brought the bastard down. Oh, he was shitting a stick. He said, what am I going to do? I said, there's one thing about I'm not going to do. I'm not going to stick it back up again with bloody body. The ball's in your court now, boy. But of all the, you know, I've noticed over the years, at one time, you could go to Blackburn and you could count about 59 chimney stacks. You go now, you can count about a dozen. And over the years, there's me and one or two more silly buggers. I've seen them off, one at a time, all over the show. And now, when you go to do one now, they start giving the buggers names. It's funny, isn't it, as they got scarcer? Old Bess and Young Tom and all this bloody rubbish. And they've got one up there near Harold, bloody great chimney, stuck up in the air. There's just one slight difference. The national grid was here. You know, 42,000 horsepower. Those bastards that sizzle when it's damp. 4 of them anchored together. Oh, and there it was. Got to drop it up the works yard, and for some reason they've built a new part of the factory alongside here. They always make it difficult for you. Over here was the ordinary high tension one, so it couldn't go that way. It couldn't go to the back because there was a bloody old engine house and they got something else in there. Couldn't go over here, it had got to go directly under the national grid. As I say, the old story, if it went like that, it'd have hit them. So they're all there. let's watch Batesy set fire to Lancashire. He's going to drop a big fat bollock here today. What you do, you drill a little bit further round it and leave a narrower foot at the back. When it goes off, bump, it slides back, breaks the leg at the back and slides back and dodges under the wires. It's ever so easy. About 15 years practice and you can do it standing on your bloody head. Anyway, you're all there. Here they are. Even the bloody local chief superintendent was there. He wasn't going to miss this. And we're all set, got all the stuff in, ready to go, and then it appeared. You know, the ace reporter off a good paper like the Liverpool Echo or something like that. He stood there in front of every bugger. He said, have you any idea which way it's going? Which bloody way it's going? Never mind, is it going to hit those sodding wires? I said, well, if I hadn't, young man, I would be pressing the tit in Abu Dhabi. I wouldn't be standing here talking to a stupid twat like you. So, it's amazing. To start this job, some say, how do you get in it, sort of thing, in the first place. And when I got that motorbike with the old panniers on the back, I started blowing things up. That was my sole method of bloody transport. And I used to go, I was living at Adlington then, near Crewe, I used to have to go to Cobridge in the potteries to pick up the explosive on this bloody motorbike. £25 in each pannier, shovel on the back. Little bag of fuse and detonators working for these tight-ass farmers round Cheshire and North Staffordshire, North Shropshire. It kept me poor for 8 years. Wouldn't give you a gun boil if they got a bloody mouthful half of them. Anyway, they buggering me about. And I used to go there and to the gelatinous cartridge and safety lamp company, which seems a really imposing array. Actually, it was old Bob Cole with a secretary in some bugger's rented front room with a magazine under a bloody dirt rock down the Leek Road, selling me ICI explosive at inflationary prices. The glorious sum of £3.15 in those days for £50 weight of gel ignite. I wish we could get it for that now, by God. And one day, I was having problems with my motorbike. The valve was sticking, and some clever bugger said, I'll soon fix that. I said, right, fix it. I'll give you 10 shillings. So he said, right, I want the bloody bike for a day. So I thought, I won't waste the day. I'll go on the bus. On the Crewe bus to Hanley to pick up my explosive. And I went on the bloody bus. And I walked down from the lights, from Cobridge lights, down to this place where old Bob Cole had got his office. Knocked on the door. Oh, he said, I didn't hear you arrived, Mr. Bates, on your motorcycle. You know, you get well, more of a flat noise it was. And he says, where's your motorcycle? I said, I've come on the bus. He says, you can't take £50 weight of gel ignite on the bus. I said, well, I brought this tater sack. Put it in. You see? So he said, oh no, he said, you'll have to get a taxi. I thought, that's knackered the profits for the week. And he rung for me a taxi. Bloody hell, I didn't want one really. So I'd got this tater sack and put this box of jelly in this £56 tater sack and shoved it in the front of the taxi, standing on its end. One of these bloody old London taxis it was. You know, put the luggage in the front and went and sat in the back. And I said, Haslington, young man. And he goes up to the bloody lights, turns right, and we're coming down Kids Grove Bank. And a dog ran in front across the road, and he slammed the bloody anchors on, and this box went pajunk on the floor, you see. So he slid his pop hole. He said, there's nothing will break in this box, is there? Because he must have thought... he must have thought I'd been for a load of Crocs or something, you know. I said, no. I said, there's only gel ignite in it. Get out! Out! Had me out the taxi, grabbed the box, stood on the side of the road with £50 weight of jelly then in a bloody tater sack. Well, I only got to walk 20 yards. There was the bus stop. I sod it, so I went home on the bus. and they say, a lot of people, they say, oh, I remember about that bloody old van. But they never stop to think how you really did start. That was on a bloody push bike. It was, with a suitcase full of gelignite on the handlebars. You can imagine going around some of these tight-ass Cheshire farmers and saying, I've come to blow you up. They straight in, the window shoots up, and the bloody pair of shotgun barrels comes out. You're like, yeah, they missed it, we've got a nutter here, you know. Just talking about that, I had a bloke ring me up. And he said, Mr. Bates, he said, I would like to crave your indulgence. I thought, oh, well, let him go on a bit, because you never know. He said, I have got an old boat I want blowing up. I said, oh, where is it? He said, it's tied up by the side of the quay on the River Loon in Lancaster. I said, all right. I said, what is it? He said, it's the last of the iron boats on Lloyd's Register. And it was one that bloody Paisley tried out. It was the first boat that run arms into Ireland from America. They bought about 1 million rounds of ammunition and 17,000 bloody rifles in 1917. And this bugger had been on the Lloyd's Register, and Paisley wanted to buy it as a floating new museum and brought it down. Hey, he's there. What the hell have you heard of him? Oh, dear. Anyway, I've been listening to his records. And they brought this thing up the Loon and tied it up at this quay. And as some of you chaps know, or some of you might not know, there's a bore on the River Loon, and it comes up. And you can see the bore coming up. Sometimes it's about 1 foot high, sometimes about 4 foot high. This bore comes up the Loon. And this bugger being tied there and staying there, it slowly with the bore, it had broke its back. And it settled in the shit, in this silt and whatnot. So here's a stone quay, and you're looking down about 8 feet, and there's the boat. He said, and I bought this for scrap. He said, and I want it shifted, and we can't shift it. They had cranes there because there was too much shit in it. He said, can you come and break it up? I said, certainly. I went up there near this old boat, so we took some bloody big 5-pound sticks of jelly and plenty of Cortex. I thought, I'm not grubbing around in the shit down there. When the tide was out, the stern end was stuck up, so we shoved some in the stern end. And I thought, now let the tide make over it, then fire it, so they won't get any metal flying about. Well, we waited, because you're going to go at certain times of the bloody day. I was starting going at 6 o'clock in the morning to catch the bloody 8 o'clock tide or whatever. Put the stuff in, and anyway, the tide made, and I got a line of Cortex up into this old steel bollard, put a bit of detonator on it, bit of fuse, detonator, lit it, whoom, and the stern end disappeared, whoom, the bloody rudder fled off, and knocked the propeller off. I thought, well, that's a fair start. There's a bit of bloody scrap for you already. You know, I said, if we go on like this, we'll cut it in bloody sections in no time. So the next day, I had to go again, a bit later or whatever, whenever the tide was. And I'd been there about 3 days, and some bugger had complained, because I'd been it under the water, and by this quay, it was vibrating the bloody houses across the road. Somebody said there's some bloody idiot there shaking our chandelier. You're not having it. 1 or 2 black rats had run up the bog, I think. Anyway, so, we're doing this. Doing it. And about the 3rd day, here they come, there was a lady and 2 gentlemen. Mr. Bates, I see you were blowing up the boat. He said, what exactly are you doing? I said, well, these are the gentlemen I'm working for. This is Mr. Nutter and this is Mr. Grubb. And these buggers thought I was putting them on. They looked at me bloody. So I said, it's quite all right. Well, what are you doing? I said, well, you'll see in a few moments. I said, the boat's come up. The boat's being filled with water. I said, now you see those 2 white lines going down from that steel bollard? They're lines of high explosive cord. I'm going to go over there in a moment, attach the detonator, a bit of fuse. I said, but come over and have a look. Then you'll see where they go. And they were going down in what had been like the little engine room. And we walked over, and as you look down, and here's the water swilling round, here was the biggest French letter you have seen. In the whole of your puff. It must have been 2 foot long. Pink in colour. And it went, ooh. And I thought, let's hope it goes away. Would it, buggery? It got turned round the bloody Cortex, and this woman's looking at it, you know. And then some bugger said, I think the engineer's still down there. That bloody did it, I'll tell you. He went pure purple, buggered off, and we never saw him again. Went to the Birmingham City Hall with young Phil. He rented the bloody hall here. And we go down there, and they're all panicking like buggery. What was he, the theatre manager for the council? He was shitting a stick, you see. We were supposed to start at 7:30, and I drifted in at 7 o'clock with a little bag of gubbins and sat down in the front seat, in the front row. And he was saying to Phil, when are they coming? I've got my men standing by to unload the equipment, you know. So the week before, they'd had Shawaddy-Waddy, and they took 3 Pang-Technicans and 15 ton of bloody equipment. And he got all these big, hairy-ass blokes standing around waiting to unload. He said, that's him down there with that little bag of stuff. He said, right, what else are we putting on? Oh, you cheeky bugger, you know. Isn't he? 2,500 bloody people, 300 were sitting on the stage at the back of me, paid £3 head to stand at the back of me bloody neck all night. Bloody simple. Anyway, this is what goes on. And I was trying to tell you before, somebody just noticed this sticker on my bag with explosive. Well, I put my ammo in that when I go to Germany shooting the wild boar or whatever, so I can go in the belly of the bloody aircraft in the bomb bay. One of these days they might drop it, you never know. And it's in there. And it just reminded me of the story of the Pan Am thing. Oh, it's a bloody scream. Here he is, dropping into Kennedy. He unhooks his little microphone, because he's got a throat mic talking to the co-pilot and the bloody control. He unhooks it so to speak to the passenger. Hello, people. Sorry about the little turbulence over the Atlantic. There's nothing we could do about that. He said, but we'll be dropping into Kennedy in 10 minutes from now. Thank you, have a good flight. Down now. So he turns to his co-pilot and said, what are you doing, Al, when we land? He said, well, I'm going to have a bath and I'm for my bed. He said, what are you doing? He said, well, the first thing I'm going to do, he said, I'm going to have a crap. He said, and the second thing I'm going to do is get the leg over that air hostess sitting in the back end of this aircraft. Of course, all the people could hear this going on. The air hostess come galloping up the aisle to go and tell him to shut it off. And the little old lady stopped and said, don't be in a hurry, love, he hasn't had the crap yet. There you go. So, but somebody said about starting this blowing up job, you know, and you know how it was when he come out in the bloody service. You got a civvy suit and about 75 quid if you were lucky. And mine was called Hessian. It was a brown colour. I don't know what it was made of or what was the bloody colour of it, you know. Got this, and then you go on, you do everything on the bloody shoestring. And I got an XWD aerial motorbike, been in the desert, so somebody had painted a palm tree on the tank. And that was brown colour as well. And because when you blow things up for the first time, you call for your brown trousers. And 2 panniers on the back, and I did 15,000 miles on that bloody idiotic bloody caper in 12 months and got away with it, you know. And then I got that van, and I say, this old Ford 8 van, which was black and rust when I bought it, and painted it a brown colour as well. I was getting used to the colour. Well, I'd got my van, and there was a couple of these lads down at Wellock, Wheelock. It's the next village to us. They live in a deeper hollow because they pump more brine from underneath them. They are actually lower than the dead. And a few of these buggers, all big made men there, must be something in the soil, they say. I don't mean tall or broad, big made men. One of them joined the parachute regiment, went up to Ringway there. You know, they give you a little red berry and a big pair of boots so you can't run away again. Nothing romantic in it at all, because that's all you've got on, a red berry and a big pair of boots. Standing in an open-ended mission hut having an FFI. And the MO's coming along with a little stick, picking them up. Turn your head to right and cough. Head to right and cough. And he gets to this Wellicker, and he stood there, proud as punch, choke a bloody donkey. On a cold day. And the MO's got 2 hands on this stick. And he looks down and he said, by God, Mester, he said, it's been in many a nest, but it's the first time it's been on a bloody perch. There's a little lad next to him, and he's standing there, you know, looks like bloody Noddy. And he's going, hey, look at this here. Little fella says, well, we're only going to fight him, aren't we? Anyway, as I say, having got my van, he gave me more range. I could then get as far as Aberystwyth and places like that. Keeping going in a westerly direction, the prevailing country, the winds of the country being westerlies, bringing the rain in from Anglesey and Llandudno, look you. And I could keep dry. I got no windows at the side, just the windscreen. You went north and south, or south to north, you got wet, because the rain would blow in the side. Going east to west, or west to east, you were all right. Anyway, I get as far as Aberystwyth, and I was talking to Di and his English friend, Chaz. And Chaz had just come out, the gents. And he said to Di, there's a black man in there with the white doings. And Di said, don't talk so bloody silly, boyo. It's only a Welsh miner that's been home for his dinner. Don't have to tell them that in bloody Rhuaben. My God, they'd have you. I've heard them. As soon as they walk in anywhere down there, you straight away, they're at it. Top teen pub safe. Means arseholes to all Englishmen. I know, I played rugby with the buggers. Whoa, not bad lads though. Anyway, a little while ago, I was telling you about these Wellickers that joined the parachute regiment. 2 of them got a little old van like mine. And they were going round lettering buildings, putting firms' names up on buildings. About the same time as I started, about 1947. So they had a van full of letters, A, B, C, D, E letters, and they were lettering. They were lettering this building, Studley and Pollux Limited. One was up the ladder, he shouted down, hey Al, I've finished the Studley, I'm going to start the Pollux now. Chuck us a P up. The other one's rummaging about in the back of the van. He said, we haven't got a P. We've only got a B left. He said, we made a right cock of the London Brick Company then. The Bobbies arrested one down there the other week for interfering with a goat. The other bugger got 3 years for acting the goat. Some time ago, I don't know whether you saw it, a lot of people didn't. They didn't switch it off. I went on Parkinson's show. You know, Parkinson's show, you've seen him with the laughter lines. Went down there, and there was Jackie Stewart on this show with me, and Henry Higgins, poor fella, he's dead now. He got killed in a bloody hand gliding thing. I'm going to take it up when I'm 85. And he was a bullfighter then. He was an English bullfighter. So a little old mate of mine was a policeman at Crewe. He was an inspector on the bloody patrol cars. And I said to Bomber, they used to call him Bomber, I said, do you fancy coming on the, you know, oh, he said, I'd love to come to a television. I've never been to one. I said, you get a couple of days annual leave and come with me. He said, how? Well, they're always on annual leave. You see them on the bloody civvies. Always on annual leave. And I said, get a couple of days off and come with me. He said, how are you going to get me in? I said, you can come as my security bloke. You carry the bag of bloody jelly. I will go down on Parkinson's bloody show, as arranged. He said, do you think it'll work? I said, of course it'll bloody work. I said, you're big enough, bloody soft enough. So we rose down, pitches up there, no Bomber's about 6 foot bloody 3. He's lummoxing with the bag. I said, get up the bag, come on, let's go in. We go in, and they said, who is it? I said, Bates, Blaster. Oh, we're on Parkinson's this evening, aren't you? I said, yes. And who's this gentleman? I said, he's my security officer. Oh, that's all right. Up to the green room, you see. So you get in the lift and you go pissing off up to this green room. And they're in there, you know. And Parky's in there. And as we and Bomber walk in, he comes across to me. Hello, Blaster, you know. I said, hello, Michael. You know. I didn't know him from bloody Adam. But they'd intimated to us, me and Bomber Brown, there was a bullfighter on. We didn't know who he was. And Jackie Stewart comes across, you know. How are you going on, laddie? You know, how are you? I said, how are you, Jackie? Because I knew him when he was a young lad. He used to come clay pigeon shooting with us up at bloody Sealand before he went motor racing. But it was the year, I think he was a world champion that year. I said, how are you going? Unpack it. I said, do you know Jackie? I said, of course I know Jackie. I knew him when he was a snotty-nosed bloody lad. He used to come trying to shoot clay pigeons with us up at Sealand. And we were having a talk. And then Bomber Brown said, I want to see the bullfighter. Now, where's the bullfighter? Now, we were expecting some live tight-ass Dago. In a bloody suit of lights, you know. Shouting, "Ole!" and all this crap. He said he's there. And standing by the bar was a little bloke. He must have been about 5'6", about 7 stone, wet through, with an overcoat on. And Bomber Brown, he's not the bloody bullfighter. He said he is. He said, Christ, he said, we've got cockroaches in our house that'll take him on. Oh, dear. Parkinson blenched. He said, don't say that on the bloody show. I said, I didn't say it. He said it. And he's only carrying the bloody jelly. Well, there goes on. Of course, they're playing the bloody music. Enter the bloody gladiators when the bullfighter walked on. He's chatting him up. He got Jackie Stewart sat down. Then he had some bloke taking pictures in Vietnam or somewhere for a start. He bored every bugger to tears. Then it come my turn. I'm being one of the shooting lads. They started playing bloody Tantivy, and I hate bloody horses. You know, you walk down the steps, plunk yourself down. Hello, and this is Blastermind, and all this crap. And Parkinson's a bugger for bringing sex into it. He's a bugger for it. And as I walked down the bloody steps, on the screen, boom, and a bloody big chimney stack that filmed 2 weeks before fell down across this old bloody lime kiln. Boom, you see. And that comes down, you know, and that was a bloody start, and I was talking a big load of crap as he was. And then he says, then he turns to Jackie Stewart, sometimes they do, he'd turn, and Jackie, now you're the world champion, and how do you go on with all these women, you know, you being the motor racing? He's a married man with 3 kids. Now, what do you say to that in front of 16 million viewers? Oh, I'm getting my hand away every Tuesday morning. You know, are you GTR? It gives me bloody end up. So I leant across to Parkinson and I said, ask me about my sex life. And when he asked me, reverse that chimney stack. Oh no, again. And if I try to give it up then, I'll tell you, no more bloody sex. Oh, there was no more bloody sex then. Last year, 2 years ago next month, they flung me in that bloody Hartshill infirmary because I'd been getting terrible shocks coming down my legs since just after I'd been here, I think it was. I was on... they never happened at the right time. And I was taking a pint of beer on the bloody stage at Stockport. All of a sudden I got one of these bloody shocks. Boom! And the bloody beer went all over me. And all these silly bastards start laughing like drains. I said, you bloody fools, I'm in pain. And I just about hobbled off and this went worse and worse. And in the end, they had me in the neuro ward. Lay me in the hospital, and some airy-faced houseman come round, put a rubber glove up and stuck his finger up my arse. And I said, there's nothing wrong with my ring piece. He said, without a blush, he said, Oh, just feeling for tumours frightened me to bloody death. I nearly shit the bed, I'll tell you. They said, you want a bedpan? I said, I didn't know you had to do your own cooking and all. Bloody nasty it was. Woo! Cut a long story short, they knocked me out for about an hour and a half and took a bit of bone off my spine. He said I'd come off the motorbike. Well, I'd come off the bike a few times. But anyway, they'd fixed it. I just get a bit of numbness just in my foot. Thank Christ. They've kept it about 3 foot 6 from the bloody vital areas. And so, anyway, this went on, and then the police decided to give me a medal. This was about 6 months after, and I hobbled up to bloody Macclesfield, and they gave me this medal behind the neck. It was such a bloody shock that they had to throw a blanket over me and give me a cup of sweet tea. Went to lie down in a dark room for half an hour to get over it. But my friend got the QPM, Queen's Police Medal. He's got a blue ribbon on him. Mine only got a red bastard on mine. And I tell this story just out of pure jealousy. Because he went down to the palace for his. And so going down to the palace, he gets himself rigged up, goes to Moss Bros and hires a bloody morning suit. Top hat, grey coat, a silver tie, grey gloves at the slope. And when he got there, there's another 100 getting gongs of, OBEs, other buggers' energies, and MBEs. And the Queen, just according to what sort of a weekend she's had, sometimes she'll speak to you, sometimes she doesn't. It's just a squeeze of the hand. The 3 fingers and the thumb, something like the Masons, only she doesn't roll a trouser leg up. she would just come. You can always pick the Masons out straight away then. Anyway, she's coming down, and squeeze of the hand, and a bloke gives you the gong. Another bloke walking behind him with a drawn sword, one of those Wilkinson bloody things. If you give it back, he chops your bloody head off. That's why the cowardly bastards always send them back. So, they're coming down, and they're getting these gongs. And John stood there with this bloody morning in his top hat, the lot, and the gloves. And about 3 up from him, the dirtiest, scruffiest bastard you've seen for years. Got an old Mac on with some binder twine round it. His hair was cut like him on bloody Stars at Night. And John thought to himself, what sort of a bloody medal's he getting? He must obviously be a brave man, he's getting a medal for something. Must have rescued somebody from a ruck of big shit or something like that. By the look of it, only happened an hour or 2 before. And Queen's coming down, shaking the hand, and they get to their little medals in these little blue boxes, and one thing or another, and clutch you to your breast. And he gets to this scruffy-looking bugger, and she's not speaking to many at all, none at all, hardly a word. And she gets to this scruffy-looking son, and she gets hold of his hand, and he can see her mouth going. I thought, fancy speaking to that rough-looking bugger. She better say something to me after I've gone to all this trouble, 65 guineas to hire this bloody rig out. You know. So the Queen finally leaves him, he gets his gong, she gets hold of his hand, not a bloody word. Just a squeeze of the hand, and they pass on. He thought, well, that's a bit of a bugger. She talks to that scruffy-looking sod, says nothing to me, gets his medal, and as the retinue move on, he nips round the back. He said, give us that old Mac. He said, you could have my morning coat, my top hat, and that flat hat you've got on the side of your cross. So with a button on. And he put that on, and this old Mac tied, and went down the end of the row and waited. And he stood there with us, and the Queen finally got to him again, gets hold of his hand. He said, haven't I told you to piss off once? Anyway, just one story I forgot to tell you. At one time I used to go to this big hall, blowing tree stumps up for this certain colonel, big place it was, and it got bloody chimney on it. One of these old Tollymarsh things, the bloody chimneys on it as high as this roof, bore on them like that. And the story went, some time ago, about 1951 too. And The Daddy Christmas was floating about one night and went arse over apex down the chimney. Bump. There he is in the fire hole, big German silver fire hole on the first floor bedroom. In the fire hole, all Sutton toys and noddy hat over one ear. Just like a bloody starling coming down the chimney. And this bitter Group 1 sitting up in bed, a touch of the peekaboos. Fit as a butcher's dog. And she peeps over the foot of the bed and said, "Oh, a Daddy Christmas. Will you dally a while?" I think believe the gentry call it dallying. We don't call it that in Sandwich. He said, "I can't, my dear. I've had this accident. I must deliver the toys." She said, "Are you sure?" And that was one out. She said, "I mustn't be tempted. I must be on my way." She said, "Are you positive?" That was the other one. He said, I must go deliver the toys." And she stood on the bed and let the bloody lot drop. She said, "Are you sure you will not dally a while now?" He said, "I'll have to now. I can't get back up the bloody chimney."